In these next 4 examples, we are going to use the same functions that we have used for the last 2 problem sets. So let's look at example 1. Using the functions above, determine f of x minus 1. So we're going to use f of x, but leave empty brackets wherever we see an x. Now we're going to replace these empty brackets with our new variable of x minus 1. So we have f of x minus 1 equals x minus 1 plus 3. And this negative 1 and positive 3 can combine to form positive 2. So we have f of x minus 1 equals x plus 2 as our final answer. Now example 2 wants us to use the functions above to determine f of x plus 1 and g of x. So we're going to use f of x first, so f of empty brackets equals empty brackets plus 3. And then we're also going to have g of x, with a g of empty brackets equals empty brackets squared. Now wherever we see an empty brackets in our f function, we're going to replace it with our new variable of x plus 1. So we have f of x plus 1 equals x plus 1 plus 3, which can combine to form x of 4. And now we have g of empty brackets equals empty brackets squared, but the variable they want us to use is x. So we're going to have g of x equals x squared. Now they want us to add these two functions together. So we're going to have f of x plus 1, which was x plus 4, plus g of x, which was x squared. And we can rewrite this so our dominant terms are first. So we're going to have x squared plus x plus 4 as our final answer. Moving on to example 3, they want us to use the functions above to determine g of a plus 2 minus h of 2. So again, we're going to use our g of x function, and then we're going to use our h of x function. Going back to our g of x function, we're going to have our new variable of a plus 2. So we have g of a plus 2 equals a plus 2 all squared. And this a plus 2 all squared can factor out to be a squared plus 4a plus 4. And this h of x function wants us to replace it with a new variable of 2. So we have h of 2 equals 2 minus 5, which equals negative 3. Now they want us to subtract these two functions, so we have a squared plus 4a plus 4 minus h of 2, which is negative 3. So we're going to have minus negative 3. This minus negative 3 turns to positive 3. So we have a squared plus 4a plus 4 plus 3. And then the 4 and 3 can combine to form 7. So a squared plus 4a plus 7 is our final answer. Moving on to our final example, we want to use the functions above to determine g of b plus 1 minus f of negative b. So we have g of x function with our empty brackets squared, and then our f of x function with empty brackets plus 3. Now our variable for g is b plus 1, so we have g of b plus 1 equals b plus 1 all squared, and then that can factor out to be b squared plus 2b plus 1. And then our new variable for f of x is negative b, so we have f of negative b equals negative b plus 3. Now they want us to subtract these two functions, so we have b squared plus 2b plus 1 minus negative b plus 3. Now we want to take this negative and factor it through to every number inside the brackets. So we have b squared plus 2b plus 1. Negative 1 times negative b gives us positive b, and then negative 1 times positive 3 gives us negative 3. Now we can combine this 2b and this b, and this positive 1 and this negative 3. So we get b squared plus 2b plus b gives us 3b, plus 1 minus 3 gives us negative 2. So b squared plus 3b minus 2 is our final answer.